everyone, so today I will be going over my pile of possibilities for Victober. Ever since discovering BookTube, there have been two readathons that have always made me so excited. One of them being Jane Austen July and the second one being Victober. And I didn't really participate last year, but this year I definitely want to read as much Victorian literature as I can during October. I finally kind of gotten into a rhythm with school and I've scheduled each day so that I have time to read, because for me, reading is therapy. It is very, very important for my mental health to be reading as much as I possibly can as a hobby. So throughout October, I do have a lot of books that I hope to get to, and I think it's going to be a great reading month, and I will try to read as much Victorian literature as possible. So for Victober, there are set prompts, and I will try to get to a few of them. I'm not going to force myself to fulfill each of the prompts, but I will go over the prompts as they are and let you know what I do plan on reading. So the group read for Victober is The Mayor of Casterbridge by Thomas Hardy, and this I do plan on reading. It's actually not that long. There are a lot of notes at the back, but I divided the chapters so that I could read this book in a couple weeks, and it comes to about 30 pages a day, which is very doable for me, so I do plan on reading this. And the premise of this book actually sounds very, very interesting. It is about a man named Michael, and in a drunken rage, he ends up selling his wife and child. I don't want to know too much more about it, but I do know that it's basically a character study of this man named Michael and how he becomes a very respectable citizen in society, but he has all of this guilt and, you know, this past that he's keeping secret from a lot of people. And it sounds very, very interesting. It sounds like it'll be a very interesting character study, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. So this is the first book, and this is definitely going to be a priority for Victober. The next prompt is to read a work of Victorian literature with either chronic illness representation or disability representation. So I do have two options for this. The first one I do plan on reading, and it's part of my books I need to read by the end of the year list. So this will definitely get read, if not in October, 100% in November or December, but I am going to prioritize it, and that is Barchester Towers by Anthony Trollope. I actually don't know how it has disability or chronic illness representation, but I'm not sure whose video it was. I'm not sure if it was Kate Howe or Katie from Books and Things, but I think one of them mentioned that this book does fit that prompt, and so I thought that was perfect, and I do really want to read it this year. So this is definitely one that I want to prioritize for this prompt. I actually don't want to know anything about this book because it is the next book in the Barchester series. I have read The Warden twice and really enjoyed it, and I just want to go into this blind, not really knowing what's going to happen with the characters. So I am really excited, though. I really do enjoy Anthony Trollope's writing. Even though I've only read one of his books, I do think that the more I read from him, the more I will fall in love with his writing. And yeah, I'm just really excited to read this one. Another option for this prompt is Poor Miss Finch by Wilkie Collins. And the reason I put it on this list is because I do really want to read another Wilkie Collins book. And this one does fit the disability prompt. It is about a girl who is blind, and she's actually in love with this man, but his brother is in love with her. And so there's this love triangle, which isn't generally my thing, but I'm willing to forgive it with a classic. So, and it's Wilkie Collins. I really do enjoy his writing. I loved The Woman in White by him, and I definitely want to read more of his books. So the fact that this has disability representation, we have a blind girl at the heart of the story, I think this would be great for this prompt as well. The next prompt is to read a Victorian Coming of Age story, and I have two options for this prompt. I'm not quite sure which one to pick, so maybe you guys can help me and let me know in the comments which you think I should choose. The first one is Villette by Charlotte Bronte. This one I've had on my shelves for a few years now, and I still haven't gotten to it, so I think that's why I'm leaning more towards it, just because I want to get it read. I'm pretty sure this one's about a girl who moves to France, if I'm not mistaken, and she becomes an English teacher in this town. I also believe this is a love story and also looks at the main character's mental health throughout her time in this town as a teacher, and yeah, it sounds interesting to me, and we'll see if this is the one I choose. The other option is a coming of age story that I have heard is very tragic, and I guess we'll have to see if I'm in the mood for something very sad, but that book is Tess of the D'Urbervilles by Thomas Hardy. I will be reading The Mayor of Casterbridge, so maybe two Thomas Hardy books in 1 month isn't the best idea, but we shall see. Let me know what you guys think I should read first. This is a book where I read the back and it spoiled something in the plot, which I'm very sad about, but I do still really want to read it. So let me know, should I read Villette or Tess of the D'Urbervilles? Which one do you think is a better choice for this readathon? The next prompt is to read a Victorian short story, and for this I wanted to read something that I own, and I do have a few short stories on Kindle, but the one that piqued my interest was The Haunted Man by Charles Dickens, and This one, from what I know, is about a professor, and he's like visited by a ghost, and it just raises memories of his past sorrows. And I don't know too much else, and I don't want to know too much else because it is a short story, but this is definitely one that I am hoping to read. It is short, and I've had it on my Kindle for a while, so this is probably going to be read. And then we have a prompt, which is to read a Victorian book and then watch its screen adaptation. So for this, I'm not actually going to read a book, but I will be watching the adaptation for North and South again. I have seen it already and absolutely love it. And I read North and South for the first time last year, and it was just an amazing book. So I definitely plan on watching its adaptation again. I just don't want to read the book again anytime soon. I do generally like to space out my rereads so that I feel like I forgot a lot and then I'm kind of like reliving that first time experience. There are exceptions. There are certain books that I could reread all the time and it doesn't really matter to me, but for North and South, it was just such a poignant story that I do want to wait until I reread it again. But I definitely will watch the screen adaptation. I do have it currently out from the library. And yeah, I will definitely watch it at least once. And the last prompt is to read a work of Victorian poetry, either long or short. I don't own any Victorian poetry collections that I haven't read yet. At least I don't think I do. But I might, read some poetry online. I'm not quite sure if I will read a collection or just skim through some poems online. But if you have any recommendations for free electronic versions of short poetry collections, please do let me know in the comments. I'm not too big on poetry, but if you have any recommendations for poetry surrounding nature and things like that, I'm definitely more into that. So please do let me know in the comments if you have any recommendations. And then I have 4 more books here that I'm not sure if they could fit in any of the prompts, but it is Victober. The whole point is to read and celebrate Victorian literature, so I am including these in the video. I'm not sure if I will get to all 4 of them. One of them definitely I will read this fall, and that one is Dr. Thorne by Anthony Trollope. This is the 3rd book in the Barsetshire series, so as soon as I have finished Barchester Towers, I plan on reading this as well. I don't know anything about it, and I don't want to know anything about it, but from what I do know, Barchester Towers and Dr. Thorne are the most beloved in the Barsetshire series, so I am very excited to read them. This is also on my list of books I need to read this year, so it needs to get read. It will get read. I'm also slowly making my way through all of Charles Dickens' major novels, and the next one on the list chronologically is Martin Chuzzlewit. And again, don't know anything about it, and that's how I usually like to go into most classics, especially Charles Dickens books. So I'm gonna go into it blind. It is quite long. I will be pacing myself with it. I might not start it this fall. I might wait until the winter, but this is the next Dickens book that I need to get to. So if this fits any of the prompts, let me know, as well as Dr. Thorne and the other 2 books that I'm going to mention, because I'm not quite sure, but it would be interesting if they did. The 3rd book is Dear Brook by Harriet Martineau, and I actually started this last year and then I put it down. For some reason, I just wasn't in the mood for it, but I was enjoying what I had been reading at the time. I found the writing style to be very easy, very accessible, and it was a very fun story. I got, I think, 10 chapters in. So if I do end up reading this for Victober, I will start from the beginning. But it is a very interesting premise. We have 2 sisters, Hester and Margaret, who move to a village called Deerbrook to stay with their cousin. And in small town fashion, there is a lot of drama. There is a lot of potential romances that could blossom, and it's just fun. And I think someone mentioned this has disability representation. I don't quite remember if that's the case, but if this does fit any of the other prompts, do let me know. I was enjoying what I had read out of it. I just didn't get a chance to finish it, but another option. And the last book in this pile of possibilities is Lady Audley's Secret by Mary Elizabeth Braddon. I have only heard good things about this book. I've heard it's a sensation novel and that there's just a lot of drama, high stakes, and I don't want to know anything about it. Going into it blind, I try not to read the back of classics because they tend to spoil major plot events, which I don't understand why. But again, I heard it's just so sensational and ridiculous and fun and a really, really good story. So if you have read this, let me know what your thoughts were because I've only heard good things. And yeah, it would be nice if I could get to this as well, but that is the last book in my pile of possibilities. All right, so these are the possibilities for Victober. I highly, highly doubt I will get to all of these books because there are so many other books I want to read from different genres throughout October, but it would be nice to get to at least 4 of these, 4 or 5. Let me know if any of you guys have read any of these books or if any of you plan on reading some of these books throughout Victober. I would love to touch base with you if you are and maybe set up a chat where we could talk about the books. But I am really excited to be participating in Victober this year, especially now that I have a channel and I hope to vlog some of my experiences with these books. But that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you for taking time out of your day to listen to me ramble. It means so much, and I hope to see you all in my next video. Bye!